Yes, I. Greetings, Jamaica and reggae massive all around the world. My name is Jimmy, and I'm making this video from Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'd like to tell you about an event that we're going to have in about 11 days' time, Saturday, the 28th of June, here in Copenhagen at a venue called the Opera in the area called Christiania. You probably have heard about it. It's a very special place. All right, so I'm gonna be on stage with a band called the Raggateers. Big up the Raggateers, great band. Anybody looking to tour or play somewhere around here in Copenhagen, look up the Raggateers. I highly recommend them. Very good band. And on stage will be Aaron Rebel from Trinidad, and Queen Congo from Denmark and France and the Congo as well. And then we got Danny Wonder, a nice youth from Denmark as well. And the name of the event is very important. It's called Next Stop Kingston. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of history of the name. It's a next stop name. Why Next Stop Kingston? Well, you see, the thing is, here in Denmark, there was a thing called, back in 86, 87, there was a thing called Next Stop Nevada. Okay? So there was a World Peace Council that was having a conference in Denmark at that time. And a lot of the youths who attended the conference, felt that it was moving too slow. So they wanted to do something more radical, because they felt the threat of nuclear war, back in the Cold War days. So they felt that, look, these older people, they're not really into this. And it was mainly the Danish youth, It was the Danes who were like, the Danish blood, Viking blood, how they say, get in a boat and let's go conquer this. And wow, we don't have any sails, we'll just row the boat. That type of spirit, So they decided, look, we want to go to America and tell the Americans that this is a bad idea. This nuclear thing is a bad idea, and we want to go as close to the testing sites in Nevada, to let the people know that, hey, it's about people, it's not about bombs, it's about people. That's how brave they were. And they went and they did some concerts in America, and a few bands came out of that. And we were about 55 youths who went to America. They took a bus to go to Nevada. So it was called Next Stop Nevada. I guess it's because they were all doing these shows. Maybe they went through different towns. This town, next stop this town, next stop this town. And then when they finished all that, now Next Stop Nevada, because that's where they're going to go with the placards or whatever they had to the nuclear testing area, Viking youths. Of course, they came back and was enthusiastic, and the word spread, and many were interested in doing a follow-up. And since they had done America now, they thought, well, let's go do the Soviet Union. So you had a thing called Next Stop Soviet. And this time, this thing had grown from 55 youths to 3,500 youths, right? And so 30 ships left Copenhagen and sailed the Baltic Sea towards Russia, and musicians, artists, magicians, you name it. They all went there to have some cultural exchange in the Soviet Union, So I picked that up for my things, and I usually have it. I have something called Next Up Zanzibar, which is a story for something. I'm not going to talk about that here, okay? I came up with a thing called Next Stop Kingston, because I really want to pay tribute to reggae music the right way. I don't like the way people are approaching reggae music, and I hear these rumors that reggae is in a crisis. And it's not reggae that's in a crisis. The people who are dealing with reggae don't know what's important, so therefore they end up in a crisis. You see? Because the reggae can crisis is not possible. You understand? Other issues concerned with reggae make it look like reggae is in a crisis, but reggae could never be in a crisis, you see? So just to clarify that, because reggae is a thing which made me sacrifice my bright future as a very good student who could have become a lawyer and some people were saying president and all these things, for me to put all of that aside and say, no, not this. I will follow Bob Marley. So I will not graduate, Mama. I will not graduate, Papa. In fact, I'm going to drop everything and I will go help Bob Marley sing redemption songs. And I was here in school in Denmark. So I did that, and that was 89. Unbeknownst to me, by the time that I am going to London for the first time to meet Rastaman, and these people grow me up and all of that, because I've left everything in my life to follow them, that's the same time that these 3,500 youths go off to Soviet. So you see the mystics, you see. So next thing is, before I left, I went to a music festival, and at that music festival, Ziggy Marley was playing. So I met Ziggy, and the Spirit of Jah carried me backstage, from without no pass, no backstage pass whatsoever. From watching Ziggy at the festival, watching him, the Spirit tell me, go to the left. I go to the left. I come to the gate. As I come to the gate, one big truck is coming, and the man opened the gate for the truck to come through, and at the same time, I'm with my red, gold, and green, and the man say, why, he thinks I'm part of the band, and I gone backstage, and I went backstage, and I wait till Ziggy finished singing. When Ziggy finished singing, I asked him for an autograph, and he signed the back of my denim jacket. And so Ziggy was the first Rastaman, the first Jamaican, and the first reggae artist that I ever spoke to in my life. And what he wrote on the back of my jacket was, Jah live, Ziggy Marley. And I went wearing that jacket to London. I left everything in Denmark and I went to London. And in London, the Rastas, they just received me and teach me everything that I know now. You see? So by the time I get to be the big man that I am, and I feel I want to do something tribute to Kingston and do Reggae the right way, I said, let me do Next Stop Kingston. And I organize everything, and I look for the venue, and I go to the Opera, great venue here in Copenhagen. And when I get to Copenhagen, when I get to the Opera and they ask me about the name, I say, well, it has to do with the Next Stop Nevada, Next Stop Soviet. And the woman who is the head of staff there, she said, wow, I was part of that. I was part of the Next Stop. And I was like, yeah. So now you know. So we are on that page, you see. So what's going to be happening on the 28th, people, is the Raggateers and I are going to record 4 songs as demos that we're going to send to Kingston so that they can be done all over from scratch. Okay? And it must be from scratch, because Lee Perry said everything must start from scratch. So I'm coming in as a songwriter. I'm from King of Africa Publishing. I'm sending them to Jamaica because we hear rumors that reggae is in a crisis. We say, all right, let's give Kingston some ammunition now, some hypersonics, and send them some songs and say, see what you can do with these ones, because we're going to take care of the network and make sure that this thing go globally. We're going to fundraise for the recording, fundraise for the production and everything, and we've already pinpointed which producers want to produce the music, because we want to keep this thing real, So I say, you know what? This thing is something that must really happen the way. So we got Clive Hunt. He don't know. He know now. Now Clive Hunt knows that we're looking for him. So we are on the hunt for the Clive. And Squidly knows, because Squidly is my brethren from way back. And I got a lot of tracks that I want Squidly Cole to do. And because Squidly Cole's father is the singer who did the first reggae track, we like to keep things nice and traditional. And there in Kingston, we got Mojiba, the daughter of Count Ozzy. And she's like in charge of all affairs there, so you have to go check her. And we like it like that too, because that is tradition too. So for all my contacts in Jamaica, we're saying, look, whatever money comes out of this after musicians are paid and big money come out of it, there's a tax, a reggae tax, we call a reggae dollar that helps you pay the reggae tax. It must go into a fund in Trenchtown, where reggae came from, because Bob Marley said to pay tribute to Trenchtown, you see. And out of that organization of paying tribute to Trenchtown, everything else can come out of it, because once you sort out the finance and the financial structure, all cultural things can go on properly the way it's supposed to go. And it's just because of the lack of this that we have so-called crisis. We have brilliant people within Rastafari, within reggae music, who can organize and we are opening the platform for them to say, here is a platform that we can organize these things and make it happen. So I'm a rock musician. I love reggae. Reggae is my church, but you see, I was on a rock track, and then Bob came along, and I said, whoa, this is a good thing. So I dropped the Catholic Church and become Rasta. But rock and roll has always been my thing. So, you know, as you can see, rock, Hard Rock Cafe since 1971 and all of that. Christiania is also from 1971. But the main thing is, I don't really like the cultural appropriation thing. You know, that thing of, you know, like, okay, put on the patois and put on the dreadlocks and then go to Jamaica and record and then be the next big thing in reggae. It don't make no sense to me, because you see, Bob is perfect, you know, and so is Peter Tosh, and them things, you can't fake those vibes, you know. And those vibes, those youths did not have nothing to look up to say what reggae they're gonna follow. They had to go create it themselves. So it must have come from inside, you know. So what comes from the inside from me really is to fix Africa and to gather the people and to obey the message that Bob Marley has given, you know. So it's not even the worship of Bob, it's the word and the voice. And when I hear it and I say, you know, something good must come out of this for the people, you know, especially where the music come from. So we must set this up right. So we'd like to have a council of elders, you know, to take care of the bank account for how the monies must be running around in Trenchtown and all of that, you know. So, but I just like to kind of like put things into perspective for people to kind of like see what kind of vibe I move on, you know. When we talk about Scratch Perry anointed my head with oil from his ring while he was performing on stage in Barcelona. And how I got into that show was a mystic again, like how I got backstage at the Ziggy Marley show. I had a big old spliff, the big spliff. It's not real. I was in Barcelona hustling with a big spliff, and I knew Scratch was playing that night, and I thought to myself, you know, let me just go by the venue, the Apollo, and see, you know. I'd just be near him, near the band. I didn't have no money, man. It was about €20. As soon as I arrived there, one beautiful Norwegian girl who used to love the big split, she said, why are you here? I said, yeah, you gonna see the show tonight? I said, no, I'm just can't come. I said, no, man, I pay for you, you must come in. So she paid for me, and I went in there with a big spliff, and I'm standing there with a big spliff. I'm standing with a big spliff. Lee Scratch Perry come out, and Lee Scratch Perry come out with a light and a blood clot. He come with a light. He put on his suitcase. And he bring the light and the light, you know, and come right to the big spliff, like he want to light the spliff. Rasta. Then in the middle of the show, he started to sing a song about, and he says, I never die. And I start to think, whoa, okay, what's this song about? And then I see him put his foot on top of the monitor, and the minute he put foot on top of the monitor, I know that, it's His Imperial Majesty who put the foot on top of the Italian bomb. And I say, I look upon Scratch and say, boy, I look in favor of His Majesty still, you know. So I said, boy. So I was just there, and from that I just go into my heights, because I get excited, and Lee Scratch see that I get excited, you know. And after my excitement, I go deep into the thoughts and I go like so, you know. And Scratch see me, and then Scratch go over to me, and he just kind of like take away my hand, and he lift me up so. You know, like he lifted me up so, and he smiled at me, and then he went for a ring, and from the ring, he opened up the ring, and in the ring was oil, and he take the oil out, put it in my hand, and then he anoint my locks and do them like so. It's true. So we're sending the songs to Jamaica for them to be recorded the right way from scratch, so that we can mobilize all the youths, all of them together in one integrity and in one unity in support of the walk from Cape Town to Cairo. And we're going to make sure that we fundraise in such a way that whoever get involved in this get the right money, like all of the musicians get the right money whenever they do the business. So done with all that talk about crisis. See, Rastafari run things. See, it's